Good morning, good morning. How you guys doing today? November 21st, 2025. We're going to take a look at the markets and see what's going on. Well, if you've been following us here at White Oak Trading University, you'd have a pretty good idea of what's going on in the markets right now. But a lot of retail traders are freaking out, and with good reason. I mean, Bitcoin is dropping quite aggressively. If you take a look at Bitcoin, holy moly, what a massive drop we've had in Bitcoin. But anyways, I wanted to go through some of the headlines with you this morning. I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I just want to go through the major headlines. We'll take a look at the charts and give you a Sherlock perspective on what's actually taking place. There's a lot of hype out there. There's a lot of fear mongering out there, a lot of nonsense. We're going to just look at the charts, think of them logically, clearly, and come to reasonable conclusions on them. So, big one, I guess, is Nvidia. That one came out with earnings, and if you were following us on our channel yesterday, you'd know that when price gapped up, it gapped up right inside a major selling area, okay, right here. And we warned everybody, we told you, listen, this is a major selling area by the institutions. Retail traders are going to be smacked hard. They're going to be thinking, well, what just happened? Nvidia came out with good earnings. They bought at 195 and it dropped down to 180. Major drop. Everybody's shocked. Everybody's surprised. Nobody knows why. You keep seeing this message over and over again on the internet. Why did it drop? Why did it drop? This is why it dropped, folks, okay? Right here. This is why it dropped. We had the S&P 500 contacting supply. We had Nvidia contacting supply. Remember, I was mentioning we had institutional supply here, and we have institutional demand down here. And as long as price stays in this range, we expect price to go up and down and up and down. Okay? I mentioned this to you before earnings even came out, right? So you guys who are following know exactly what's going on. You're not surprised. So that's the dynamic that's currently in play. Let's take a look really quickly here at the S&P to put things into perspective. So this is what took place. Price came down into an institutional demand area down here, and it had contacted it a couple times, and price rallied up into an institutional supply zone. Okay, so we had this supply being contacted, right? This was a key zone for upside. What does that mean? Well, that means if the institutions are going to push price up, this is a pivotal zone that needs to be removed first. If this zone does not get removed, price does not go higher. And what did they do? They held the zone and they pushed price aggressively down. Look at that. That's a huge drop. Huge drop. So much of a drop that, ladies and gentlemen, they broke through that institutional demand zone. Okay. Now let me show you the weekly time frame. Look what's going on here. Now, could this turn into an event where price rallies back up really aggressively and they end up holding this zone? Yeah, it's possible. It's possible. That means we'd need a significant rally in the next 9 hours. Okay, a very significant rally, and it can happen. If they rally price up to, let's say, this level, okay, 66.40s, give or take, 66.35s, around there, and they end up creating a zone that looks like, or I mean, a body that looks like this, then I would consider that this demand zone is still holding, and this drop was just a very aggressive push to the downside, but an event used to lure retail traders to offload their positioning here. Okay, it's possible that this can happen, but like I said, this needs to rally pretty aggressively in the next 8 hours and 50 minutes. Is it going to do that? I don't know. Okay, but I'm going to be watching that. So we'll see if that takes place. But short-term supply is in play right now. What other headlines? Bitcoin, huge. I guess we should just get to that one since it is collapsing. This guy's happy. Okay, he's happy because he knows exactly what's going on. He's very sure of himself. Okay, and if you scour through the internet, you'll see a lot of people posting. Okay, a lot of people posting stuff. This company offloaded 1 million Bitcoin. This company bought 1 billion Bitcoin. This guy sold 1 billion this. That guy sold 500,000 that. Don't worry about any of that. Ignore all of that. Okay? Ignore it all. Because one piece of information gives you one story. The next piece of information gives you another story. Before you know it, you're all confused. You have no idea what the hell is going on. Okay? Ignore it all. I'm going to tell you exactly what you need to be paying attention to. If I open up this monthly time frame, what you'll see is a big institutional demand zone right here. Okay. This was an important zone because the banks used this buying area to get price up to here. Okay. So all they did was they came in and bought, shot price up, and now they're retracing price back to their institutional demand zone. That's all that's happening right now, okay? Everything else you're hearing, just ignore it. This is what's happening. Big institutional buying came in, price rallied up, and now we're inside the buying. Now, the only thing we care about, only one thing, if you're a trader of Bitcoin, are they going to hold this zone or not? That's it. That's all you need to be thinking about. Are they going to hold this zone or not? The chances are that they do, okay? That's what the chances are based on what we're seeing right now. The chances is that they hold this zone and over time they start buying and they cause price to go higher. Okay. Is that a guaranteed? No, it's not. Why is that? Well, because they can come in with selling and decide that they don't want to hold this zone and they're going to drop price. Okay. I don't know if they have that in their agenda. I don't know that. What I can see is what they have done. And what I know is that in the past, when they have done this, when they retrace price back into these areas, they typically buy. Okay. Look, let me go a little bit further back here. You see the last time they did this? This is the last time the institutions came in with their buying right here. You see what they did? Shot price up, and then they came down, tested the demand area, filled in with more buy orders, and then they took off. Okay. Then they did it here, took off, and now they're coming back again. All right. So this is what accumulation looks like, right? They accumulate, distribute some of it up here to trigger the move to the downside. And then they come back in, reaccumulate again, and then they shoot price to the moon. This is what they typically do. I'm not guaranteeing that that's going to happen now because I can't guarantee that. I don't know. All right. But I can tell you one thing. With price coming down into this institutional demand area, we're going to look at the daily time frame. Okay, and there's a very specific reason why we look at the daily time frame. And what we're focusing on is this structure here. And right now we're inside that demand and it's a bearish structure. What we want is we want this structure to become neutral and then we want it to turn bullish. And there's going to be very specific signs that we're going to be looking for to see this process of bearishness to neutral to bullish. Once it turns bullish, we look for institutional demand. We buy at retracements and then we enjoy the ride. Okay. So other than that, that's all you need to know about Bitcoin. Everything else is nonsense. Ignore it. Don't listen to it. Okay. All right. So what else do we have here? Walmart, I think they came out with earnings, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see here. Yeah, they did. And I bought here at this institutional demand zone, and then they wicked me out. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Very, very bizarre. It's just very unfortunate that they did that because I got in here with the stop loss here to ride this sucker to the upside. Why? Because this was institutional buying right here that took price to all-time highs. But they wicked out and I'm out of the trade. So I will wait for new trading opportunities. So what was the earnings? Pretty good? Yeah, I'm not surprised. I was expecting Walmart to do well. And then they gapped up and rallied in a market that was dropping. Not too surprised by that. So I'll wait patiently and then wait for new demand, wait for a pullback. I'm not going to get in now. Um, Owl. I don't think I've looked at Owl. What's the headline on Owl? What is it saying? How Blue Owl is tied to Wall Street's private credit fears. All right, let me see. Well, I see new institutional supply coming in here, right at this level here. This is big selling taking place here. So right away, when I see huge selling like this taking place on a higher time frame, the first thing I think about is I don't want to be a long-term holder of this until they take out their long-term supply zone, okay? Because a supply being formed on the monthly time frame means longer term they are focusing on selling. That's what it means, okay? So if I want to be a holder of this long term, I need further long-term selling area to be turned into a long-term buying opportunity. And so that's not going to happen until that area gets taken out. So I would stay away from that. Meta, let's take a look at Meta. What's going on with Meta? It's coming down into a nice zone here. Nice pullback with the markets. Okay. A lot of opportunities. This market dropping is producing a lot of opportunities. We're going to be going through them this morning at 9 a.m. with students. We have price coming down into this area here. Not the greatest area. I'm going to be watching for additional signals to get in long off of this area because it's not the greatest. Okay, so I will skip on that. What else do we have? So Bitcoin, oh, MSTR. Okay, so MSTR, MicroStrategy or just strategy now, they're coming right into this area. And remember, when Bitcoin just touched the top part of that monthly demand zone, price was still up here on MSTR, just a little bit above our monthly demand zone here. As you can see, it has actually not tested it yet. All right, but when price does get into this area and breaks into this demand area, very good chance we're going to see a move to the upside. You know, whether you like Michael Saylor or you don't, that's besides the point. Institutional buying was taking place right here, aggressive buying. That's the 170 area. They took it as high as 500. All right, now we're back in that area. If there's ever a spot where they're going to buy again, it's going to be here, folks. Okay, but I'm not going to trade this one by just trading the zone. This is too large of a zone for me to trade it. I'm not going to do that. What I am going to do, though, is I'm going to be watching on the lower time frame to see if there's going to be that switch. Remember on Bitcoin, I was telling you about what to watch for on the daily time frame. If you look at the daily chart, you can see we're moving to the downside. All right. So we don't want to participate in something when it's moving to the downside. We want to see that it goes neutral first, and then our interest will be sparked when we see something bullish being formed. Okay. Right now we're just in the negative, bearish phase. We're not even thinking about entering into a trade just now. But very good chance that when price gets into that zone, this one's going to shoot up like a rocket. Okay. Just something to be aware of. And last, let's take a look at silver. I took a wonderful, wonderful short on silver. This was the chart here. All right, so here was the deal, right? If you look at the dynamics of what was taking place, we had institutional supply coming in. We had institutional supply coming in here on the 4-hour time frame. All right, right here. Price rallied up into the supply. Remember, I had this zone marked off as supply for the move lower. And look at that. Price tested it. Okay, I missed that entry. That would have been a wonderful trade right there, just that alone. I missed that entry. But then I knew all I had to do was switch it down to a 15-minute chart, look for the precise zone, the supply area that was coming in, and take a trade off of that. So this was the zone that I found right here. This was the zone. Very big drop to the downside as big institutional selling was coming in from up here. So I was just looking for them to continue with their selling. So I found this zone here. I placed my orders with the stop loss here. And as you can see, the zone actually got broken through, which is very disappointing to see. That should not have happened, considering that they were planning to bring price all the way down here. And I had two targets that I gave out to members. This was a 15-minute target. It was a target based on supply and demand coming in on the 50-minute time frame. So if you want to be very conservative, you want to get out of your position and just, you know, not hold it for longer. That was your target. Otherwise, our bigger target was down here. And this is what I wanted. I wanted to wait for the larger target to be hit. I moved my target to, or my stop loss to break even. I shared the screenshots with you guys. I shared the charts with you guys. You guys could have gotten on this one as well if you wanted to, really. I'm not giving you advice, not telling you should have. I'm just saying somebody could have done that. My entry was here, and at one point, price came right back up here, okay? After I shared with you the charts. I held with the conviction that this was going to hit, and it did. And it gave me a nice, 11 to 1 trade. It was wonderful. I risked a measly little $300, and I made just about $3,000 on this trade. Okay, very quick trade. You know, didn't take long for it to play out at all. A day and a half, boom. Made $3,000. So anyways, that was a really, really good trade. Really happy with that. And I think that's about it. I don't want to take you too long. Yeah, 20 minutes, that's a good amount of time. So that's it. Hit the like button if you are so inclined to do so. I'd appreciate it. And if you want to share this session with others, please do so. And like and subscribe. Subscribe. If you're not subscribed, you should. I mean, we're giving you analysis you're not going to find anywhere else, okay? Our deal is going to end at the end of the month. We're only locking in 149 for a short amount of time. So if you want to become a member and have access to this type of trading and this type of analysis, but more in-depth, please join. Love to have you. All right? Take care, everybody. Have a good one, and so long. Oh, yeah, CFTC data coming out. I'll be updating you with that as well. All right, you take care. So long, everybody. Where am I? There you go.